I'm going
And
to tell you exactly why that is.
okay,
Do you know the dimensions of your big hoop?
I know that I didn't even have the hoop. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. Um, I it's the big hoop, and I don't have it handy here, so I can't tell you what the dimensions are.
It is always a brilliant plan to have the dimensions in millimeters of your embroidery hoops.
Okay,
So let me see.
I did put on
I'm just
a
going to pop
270.
in.
Yeah,
You did actually write it down. I'm
yeah,
looking at it. So you did fill it in on your on your
yes,
so
yes,
272 by 408 millimeters. Um,
yes.
that is the size of the biggest hoop for the Brother Luminaire or the Baby Lock Solaris. I don't see Wendy here. Is Wendy
She said she might be a little late coming in.
okay? But for everybody, it is a really good idea to know the dimensions of your hoops. For the most part, they are written on the hoops. I know my Brother hoop has, and Joe is saying, what machine did you get? The Brother Luminaire. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the
So, okay,
Luminaire XB3.
awesome. Um, so yes, definitely one of the best things you can do for yourself is know what the sizes of your hoops are. It will really help you when it comes to figuring out which designs can I stitch and which hoop do I need to do it in. For applique, you always want to look for the biggest hoop possible. Actually, not necessarily. For applique, you typically want to go with the smallest hoop possible that the design will actually fit in. For quilting, you want to go with a bigger hoop so that you've got a little bit of extra space to get your alignment really perfect. So for the most part, 200 millimeters by 300 millimeters, you should have one of those with your luminaire. 240 by 360. I think you should also have one of those. And then this giant thing, which is the 272 by 408. And when you know those, you can go to any of our instructions, and it typically starts out with if your hoop, or if you have a hoop that is at least however big, then you can use this design.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if you have a hoop that is this big, use this design. So let me share my screen. Whoops, don't need to do that. I want to do that. And we're all prepped here for, let me hide the floating controls. So the circular vase versus the tall vase, those two pages look pretty much the same, apart from you can tell we've got
Mm-hmm.
tall vase here, circular vase here. I also have the designs opened, and they're both set to 30% scaled. So this is P2, the circular vase, and we're talking about the 3D
Holdings.
collection mini version.
Right.
So this is P2, which is 30%, and this is P1, which I've also got at 30%. So the circular vase, the center panel measures, if we do a select all, okay, that's the tall one. Let's go to the short one. It measures 254 by 381. So that will fit into your big hoop, which is 272 by 408, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
P2 will fit. P1, on the other hand, still 254 wide, but is 431.8 tall. So it's actually too big to fit into that hoop. And
Okay.
if you pop into the instructions for the tall, so we're looking at the tall vase. I'm actually saying if you have a hoop that's at least 260 by 440. So I've added a little bit to say you need a hoop that's that big.
Mm-hmm.
And your hoop isn't,
Okay,
because it's only 408. Now, having just told you that the actual design measures, what does the actual design measure? I can't remember, 254. So I think the new Janome, was it the M17 Continental? I think it will fit in that hoop, which is why I left this full thing in there. But you want to go down to the next part. If you have a hoop that's at least 240 by 360,
yes,
then you're going to stitch it actually in 3 parts.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
So you really do need to go to the instructions, and it will tell you exactly which design or which combination of designs to use.
okay,
One thing that, let me see where my stop sharing that. One thing that is interesting about the Brother machines, the Baby Lock machines, for sure, and I'm not sure about the Fafs and the other brands, they literally will not, and the Genomes, they literally will not load a design into the machine if it won't fit into one of the hoops that you have, or one of the
okay,
hoops that the machine will recognize. So generally, anytime you've got a design and you maybe can't even see it on the USB stick, or it just refuses to load, it's because the design is not going to fit into any of your hoops. On the Bernina machines, interestingly enough, it will load the design, but it will give you a warning flag that it's outside the size of the hoop.
okay,
So just 2 little variations in the way the different machines figure that out.
okay. So my choice is I can go to the small vase or do it in 3 parts. I'll figure that.
That's your choice, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's actually a really interesting way of putting the choice.
They're both nice. I just chose the cutout for the tall vase first, so.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So I either stitch it up in 3 hoopings or skip the tall one and go to the short one, because you can
Yeah.
do it in the one hooping.
Okay, thanks, Shara.
You're welcome.